Check. You don't have to damage the knees of your pens too.
Do you want to do that one or this one?
I like this. You're never gonna shoot that.
I can test audio if anyone wants to check the feed.
If you want to glance at your shot.
Check, hey, hey, testing 1, 2. Check, hey, hey, testing 1, 2. Check, hey, hey. 1, 2, testing 3, 4. Check, hey, hey. Testing, hey, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, hey, hey. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, hey, hey, 1, 2. Hey, how you doing? Check, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Can you bring the volume up, Sam? Hey, Sam, can you bring the volume up on the camera? Check, hey, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, hey, hey. Yeah, we're doing it now, and then he's gonna check on his end, make sure he's happy. And Sam's turning up the volume now. So give it, I guess, 30 seconds or so. See if that comes through a little bit better. I'm doing kind of like a quieter voice anyway. Cool. Check, hey, hey, 1, 2. Testing 3, 4. Check, hey, hey. 1, 2. Testing 3, 4. Check, hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they just wrapped up over here, so we're there, kind of clearing out. He brought it. Can you bring it up a little bit more? Huh? All right, he's brought it up on on both sides. So they're saying the volume's good. All right, cool. All right, thanks. See ya.
He's good.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna lock this on.
Is that the one with like the special way to lock it, or does it have like a lock switch on it?
You just have to. Yeah, you got to cycle through the menu on this one to get it. This one doesn't have like a menu like the ULXDs do. It's just got like it's got like this weird like switch system. You cycle through. Yeah, well, I got it on now. You can see the locks on. We got to use like that thing. Whereas like the ULXD, you actually hit it and you see a menu and you can.
Well, so there's also some that have a lock switch down below. You just flip on. I'm not sure which model that it was.
Let's
That
just
did
see
it.
if ULXD has them. So it's definitely easier than having to go into a menu and do it. Yeah, so that should be good.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
Hey, yep. Hey, yeah. Khalif, can you hear me? All right, we're good.
2022 the year? Is this when we're doing it? Is this the one?
To you, or you, if you want, you can text.
afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Tiernan Sittenfeld. I'm the Senior Vice President for Government Affairs at the League of Conservation Voters. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful day in our nation's capital and online. We are so pleased to be here with currently 2, but about to be 3 incredible climate champions in Congress. Senator Tina Smith from Minnesota, Representative Lauren Underwood from Illinois' 14th District, and Chair Kathy Castor is such a champion. She is racing straight here from her 14th District in Florida. And I'm thrilled to be joined by state LCV and CHISPA leaders from across the country from nearly 30 states who are in D.C. this week, fanning out across Capitol Hill, doing nearly 100 meetings. They are here, and all of us are here, because the time for transformational progress on climate, clean energy, and environmental justice is right now. Between increasingly deadly and devastating climate-fueled extreme weather, long-standing environmental and racial injustice, gas prices being so high from Putin's war on Ukraine and from oil and gas CEOs' price gouging, inflation, and more, it has never been more clear that now is the time. Now is the time for the Senate to pass a reconciliation bill that will put us firmly on the path to cut climate pollution in half by 2030, the goal that President Biden set and that environmental and racial justice and science all require. This reconciliation bill will also save families money. It will help us double down on renewable energy so that we are no longer dependent on petrostate autocrats. It will create good-paying union jobs, and it will rebuild our economy in a way that is healthier, more equitable, and more just for all of our communities. Democrats ran and won on the promise to act on climate, and now it is time for Senate Democrats to get the job done. Congressional Republicans have demonstrated over and over and over again that they will not act on climate at the scale that is necessary, nor will they ensure that billionaires pay their fair share. But our champions in Congress are all in. And so now I am really pleased to turn it to Marcus Starr, who is the Conservation Minnesota Campaigns Director, who will introduce Senator Smith. And then we'll hear from Brian Gill, who is the Illinois Environmental Council Federal Policy Director. He will introduce Congresswoman Underwood. And then Aliki Moncrief, the Executive Director of Florida Conservation Voters, will introduce Chair Castor. Brian and Marcus and Aliki are here with so many colleagues, and they are part of a movement, part of so many people, so many organizers, so many volunteers across this country. Over the last year and a half, we have been proud to knock on more than 500,000 doors, to distribute 20,000 yard signs, to engage more than 25,000 local businesses around the country, and so much more. We are all in to help get this done. And now, Marcus, I'll turn it to you.
Thanks, Tiernan. Hi, my name is Marcus Starr, the Campaigns Director at Conservation Minnesota, and I have the great pleasure today of introducing United States Senator Tina Smith. Over the course of the next 2 days, there are going to be over 50 of us across 30 states meeting with our members of Congress and United States senators to ask them to act on climate now. In Minnesota, we're feeling the effects, whether you're a northern Minnesota ice fisher, whether you're a southern Minnesota farmer. Climate change is impacting all of us, and Tina Smith understands that as much as anybody. And she's been a champion fighting for climate and clean energy throughout her tenure so far as a senator. So, Senator Smith.
Thank you, Marcus. Welcome to Washington, Marcus. It's great to have you and the other LCV state directors with us, and thank you so much to LCV and to the amazing Tiernan Seidenfeld for your relentless organizing, which is exactly what we have to do in this moment. So climate change is not waiting for us to take action. And my constituents in Minnesota see this every single day, whether it is flooded out fields in northwestern Minnesota or fires, or this past December when we had 9 tornadoes in December. We have never seen anything like that before. These events are occurring with more frequency, and they are significant. We are out of time. We must act now. We need to address the root cause and we must demonstrate our capacity to do real climate action. The opportunity is right now. The most important thing that we can do, the most important thing is to move to a clean energy future as quickly as we can. And that means passing a reconciliation package, a package for climate action that seriously moves the needle on carbon reductions. This is going to be good for American jobs, good paying union jobs. It will be good for our health and the health of our economy. And it will make our economy more fair, and it will address the skyrocketing energy prices that we see right now because we are dependent on autocrats like Vladimir Putin for the energy that we need to live our lives. Now, we need to face reality. In a warming climate, the risk of severe storms and flooding that tear our lives apart will continue if we don't take action. We cannot afford to wait. In the Senate, it is up to us. We must pass a climate action proposal that we know has 50 votes. And I believe that we can do that in a way that will have a dramatic impact and put us on a path to a clean energy future that we must get on right now. So I am so positive that this is an opportunity. I know that this is an opportunity we cannot fail to seize in this moment. We cannot waste this moment. The time for action is now. And now I am turning it over to Illinois.
I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Brian Gill. I'm with the Illinois Environmental Council. I'm the Federal Policy Director at IEC. IEC advocates for clean environments, clean air, and clean water throughout Illinois. The urgency to pass legislation to combat climate change, create good-paying jobs, and champion environmental justice at the federal level cannot be understated. Just last year, Illinois told the nation a story about the power of the environmental community standing up to fossil fuel interests and big utilities and winning. Our General Assembly passed, and Governor Pritzker signed the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, a nation-leading climate and job creation bill rooted in equity. It is a model for what federal and state action should look like. Today, CEJA is already delivering good-paying, equitable union jobs, addressing our climate crisis and lowering costs for consumers. There's already a $1 billion CEJA refund for ComEd customers on the way. New federal investment dollars can supercharge CEJA, demonstrating that we can leverage state and federal partnerships to act on climate with the urgency scientists have called for while delivering jobs and justice for communities across Illinois and the nation. We are so lucky to have champions like Congresswoman Underwood to represent us here in Congress. She has consistently been a champion on climate, on environmental justice, and on health issues. And the IEC and the LCV voters cannot be, we cannot be more proud to have her representing us here today. We are honored to consider her a friend. And without further ado, I will leave it to Illinois' own Congresswoman Underwood.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am so pleased to be joining you here today with my colleagues who are committed to ensuring a brighter climate future for us all. Climate change is an existential threat impacting our health, our economy, and our future. It's an emergency that demands urgent, bold action. We cannot wait any longer. We cannot settle for half measures. We are meeting at a critical time to talk about the work that Congress needs to do to meet the moment and ensure that humanity has a future, to put it bluntly. As a nurse, I am very worried about how climate change is creating new health risks while worsening current ones. I wrote a bill to address this, the Climate and Health Protection Act, which would provide resources to local public health departments to prevent and respond to the health impacts of climate change. It's also an indisputable fact that climate change is exacerbating poor maternal health outcomes, including death. That's why I authored the Protecting Moms and Babies Against Climate Change Act, which I introduced with Senator Ed Markey last year as part of my Black Maternal Health Momnibus Act, a sweeping legislative package to comprehensively address the U.S. maternal health crisis. This legislation would invest in community-based programs to identify climate change-related risks for pregnant and postpartum people and their infants, and mitigate exposure to those environmental risks, particularly for communities of color. And in my own Northern Illinois community, it is clear that climate change is not a theoretical threat. It's an immediate one. Extreme weather has ripped apart families, farmers have suffered crop loss, and increased flooding has threatened neighborhoods in my community and across the country. And fundamentally, we know that the negative effects of climate change disproportionately burden communities of color and historically disadvantaged communities. Climate change worsens the threat of extreme heat, and Black Americans are more likely to live in neighborhoods with fewer trees and more heat-trapping pavement. We also see the effects of climate change in the levels of water pollution, and indigenous communities lack access to clean drinking water at rates higher than others, which could be driving the higher rates of hospitalizations for Native American children. Our reality is distressing now, and it will only get worse if we do not take action. The bipartisan infrastructure law invests $370 billion in clean energy and climate solutions. These historic investments will protect our infrastructure against extreme weather events, create our first ever national network of electric vehicle chargers, and tackle pollution. I was very proud to support this law, and it will make a real difference, but more needs to be done. We need bold action now to confront climate change head on. The Senate must meet the moment and pass a transformational climate and jobs reconciliation bill that boosts clean energy manufacturing, lowers energy costs, creates good-paying jobs, and advances environmental justice. We don't have time to waste. Families are counting on it. The health of our communities depends on it, and this moment demands it. Thank you. And now I will pass it on to Aliki Moncrief from Florida Conservation Voters. Thank you.
I am beyond thrilled to be here. My name is Aliki Moncrief. I'm the Executive Director of Florida Conservation Voters, and the reason that I'm thrilled is because I have the incredible honor of introducing one of the most powerful and distinguished voices for progress in Florida, and that is Congresswoman Kathy Castor. But before I get into Rep. Castor, Florida Conservation Voters, we work to build power, to protect our environment, to protect our democracy, and to make our communities healthy and sustainable for everyone. We are, many speakers have said it already, we are in the middle of a climate emergency, and we are absolutely out of time. That said, we also have an incredible opportunity to really change the future for the better for so many people in our country. In Florida, you all may have seen in the headlines, you know, one of the big crises that's happening right now to our iconic manatees is that they are dying in droves. And that may not seem like it's connected to climate, but it is. Warmer, wetter weather is destroying ecosystems. It's causing ecosystem collapse. And when the manatees go, we are not that far behind if we don't take action. So from warmer, wetter weather to flooding communities to climate gentrification, you know, communities being displaced by the climate crisis and sea level rise, we are absolutely on the front line, but we are fortunate to have the chair of the House Select Committee on Climate Change as one of our distinguished representatives. She is an incredible champion. She helped us fight back one of the worst anti-solar bills in our state legislature this year. She's keeping the sun going in Florida so that we can remain the Sunshine State, and so I'm absolutely thrilled to have our next speaker, Representative Congresswoman Kathy Castor. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Aliki. It is fabulous to represent the Sunshine State, and I've never considered myself powerful. I'm just a mom who's really concerned about the future, and we really share. I know Senator Smith and Rep. Underwood and I really shared this moral obligation that we have to our kids and future generations, and that's why we're here today. To speak out for clean energy. Now is the time. Aliki, you're right, we're running out of time to do this. And I want to thank the League of Conservation Voters and Florida Conservation Voters for being on the front lines to press for change. And now is the time for all Americans to press for change here in Washington, D.C. Congress must act. We must act now. American families and businesses are really suffering rising costs, and we need to act to lower the cost on families that's being driven by a number of different crises. First of all, did you know just last year, Americans had to pay out about $148 billion, billion with a B, due to climate-fueled emergencies. People, it's no mystery as well right now, they're paying exorbitant costs at the pump, and the big oil companies, Exxon, BP, Shell, Chevron, they are pocketing massive profits when they should be passing along those savings to consumers. And we know what is needed to reduce pollution. There is a cost, as Rep. Underwood said, to all of this pollution on our health and the health of our families. So we know what we need to do. We have the solutions. That's not the question anymore. And in the House of Representatives a few months ago, we passed a number of those solutions. And now it's time for the Senate to act. And thankfully, we have champions like Senator Smith, who is ready to do that. And she's been working to bring folks together to get it done. But now is the time. And what American families can see when we chart the course for the clean energy future, they will see lower costs. Remember, it was the bipartisan infrastructure bill that now will provide thousands of electric vehicle chargers all across America for folks to plug in. But see, what has to happen alongside of that are the tax credits to help make those electric vehicles more affordable. We passed the tax credits to help you lower your electric bills for your homes, for your appliances, for heat pumps. Tax credits that we know by electrifying appliances, furnaces, water heaters, and cars, we can save families more than $2,500 every single year. That's real relief to American families, put money back into their pockets. So we know how to do this. And there's so much excitement going on all across the country about the number of good-paying jobs the clean energy future will create. Just last week, Ørsted, the big wind power manufacturer and company, signed a deal with the building trades union to make sure American union workers are building their offshore wind energy projects. And Aliki is right, in the state of Florida, the Sunshine State, where the utility monopolies have entirely too much power, they passed a bill that would make it more expensive to put solar panels on the roofs of homes and businesses. It was the power of the people who pushed back on that bill. Why do you think a Republican governor would veto a Republican-passed bill? It was because the people, because Florida conservation voters, because the people said no. Our future is bright. It's powered by the sun, or it's powered by the wind. It's powered by a good old American innovation, and the time is now. Plus, I hope you all saw, a little more than a week ago in California, on a Saturday afternoon, the state of California was powered almost 100% by clean energy, 2/3 solar power. So see, we can do this. The time for excuses and delay is up. The time is now. And I'm confident with the power of the people all across America, the Congress will act and deliver relief to the president's desk for him to sign. So let's get it done. All right, throwing it back to Tiernan from League of Conservation Voters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair Castor. Thank you, Senator Smith. Thank you, Congresswoman Underwood. We are with you at every step to get this done. In the interest of time, we did not hear from all of our state LCV directors and staff and CHISPA staff, but I do want to make sure that everyone has a chance to have their voices heard, so we're going to end with a quick chant. So I'm going to say, what do we want? And you're going to say climate action. And I'm going to say, when do we want it? And you're going to say now. Just for a couple times. What do we want?
Climate action.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Climate action.
When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate action. When do we want it? Now. Thank you all very much.